driven on a racetrack somewhere that's got green lights and caution lights around, and the dash lights that we have on the car as well when we go caution, and so they're going to replicate a yellow, 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 which means an incident's happened on the racetrack. He's going to go to yellow mapping right away. They're also going to replicate, without a car in front of him, going to replicate saving fuel on the racetrack. And I saw Brian Herta standing there, the very thing that certainly helped Rossi get to victory lane last year, and they're already discussing and teaching and giving him an opportunity to come out here and understand that when you're in race traffic, you heard Eric Bretzman talking about you're going to get the draft and get towed along and pulled along another car so you can get out of the throttle, and I heard him talking about pulling the clutch in to save fuel on it. So a lot of interesting components here being taught on his first day on the racetrack.
I was going to say, they're throwing a lot at him, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a lot more than just, that must mean he's pretty comfortable on the racetrack. Let's go do some other stuff.
That sure does.
Wait to hear Brian Herta say clutch and coast. One of the great lines and memorable lines, really, from last year's 500 on the radio with Alexander Rossi.
I also think, Rossi had success in Europe, but he certainly didn't have a very good Formula One ride, and certainly only had a couple opportunities. But I think Alonso looked at him coming over as a rookie, having success, thinking, hell, I'm going to go do that. I mean, he wanted to do it anyway 10, 12 years ago, but I think that might have even made him more fired up to come over.
And I was talking to a couple of, watching him get back in the car here, and we mentioned earlier the way he sits in the car with the head surround around him and the padding and whatnot, but the crew guys were telling me earlier he was just floored. He's never run the double belts like we run here, and he was just floored at how tight we wear the shoulder harnesses. And they said, he tends to, road racing and what he's doing, he wears his belts a lot looser in his Formula One car. When they came over and they're getting ready to buckle him in now, when they first wrenched down on the shoulder harnesses, they said he looked up at him like, "Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "Yeah, this and maybe a little more." So it's all a learning curve for sure.
And they're so in there. There's the little cocoon they're in now. We don't need sissy straps anymore and all those things to hold your head up. Plus, I think you said earlier, hit the G-forces he gets in Formula One. He's certainly used to G-forces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop signs.
I saw him earlier, and Josh, one of the crew guys, was telling me that he put the pad in on the right side, and he told him, "No, I don't think I'll need that." And Josh said, "Okay, I'll keep this handy. In 5 laps into your first run, I'll put it back in for you." And they did.
Hold him up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Jill was telling you, right?
Right.
That when he first started, no, I won't need all of that.
Yeah, said,
I'm going to need that.
He goes, "Oh my God." Kanan was talking about the first time he went to an oval. Him and Castroneves they went to Phoenix for an Indy Lights test, and the Indy cars were running, and the USAC Silver Crown cars and the sprint cars were running. It was part of the old Copper world, and front engine car, they were hiking their left front wheel going into turn one, and he told Elio, I can't do that. I can't drive a car like that around here. They thought maybe that's what an Indy car hiked the left front wheel, which it did in the old days of Milwaukee when you had cross weight and front engine dirt cars. But I just think there's so much for Alonso to process.
All these cameras on him, and knowing, oh my God, I've been scrutinized every second of the way. But being the experienced driver that he is and the champion he is, he can just all of a sudden just wipe all this stuff off his mind. It just it will not be in effect. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just I think he's right now. I guarantee you, is really, really anxious. To get a feel of the real thing. But as soon as he does a couple of runs, all of a sudden he'll start relaxing. And I can just see it happening because I think all the right things are there. The fact that, as we said earlier, the weather is really cooperating. That's huge. The wind is not a factor. The track's a little green, but the car is pretty well stuck. So again, all good things are happening right now. But it's so interesting to see because, like anything else, it's the first time for him to do something, really, really different. A little bit away from his wheelhouse, if you know what I mean.
I think this is a heavy moment. This is a historical moment. It's
You notice, I don't want to interrupt you, but you notice all the padding and everything that he's got? You know, and a lot of that is going to change.
Sure.
Once he goes out there, because I noticed the way he has his head, you know, really stuck, and all of a sudden he's going to have a little bit, maybe too much vibration, this and that. So a lot of those things are going to change. You mark my word. You know, when he comes in, you know, some of those pads are going to come off, and on and on. So it's interesting. That's going to be part of what's going on.
He's
you know,
starting his learning
speed is not going to be in his mind, but now it's going to be comfort level in his cockpit, and that's going to be the first priority that he's going to be concentrating on.
And I want to speak again to our American audience, the IndyCar fans that know who Fernando Alonso is, but maybe look at the standings and see, well, wait a minute, this guy hasn't scored a point all year. This guy hasn't been on the podium in the last 2.5 years. Speak to that, Mario. In Formula One, no matter how great you are, it depends on the equipment. This guy's still at the top of his game, is he not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no question about it. And nobody in the know disputes that. It's just the fact that he's just been unlucky. McLaren has been unlucky, you know, with the effort. And quite honestly, Honda is working very, very hard to righten that, because Honda has got an illustrious history in motor racing, period. But in Formula One, you know, they were for so many years the absolute advantage. You know, they won so many world championships. You know, Ayrton Senna, you know, he lost a big advantage when he lost Honda. You know, so you know, Honda's going to be back, and they're going to be at the top. It's just that Fernando is now, unfortunately, going through a period where Honda, you know, is not providing what he needs. But that doesn't take away from his abilities in any possible way. I mean, if put Fernando in any of the top cars today, put him in a Mercedes or Ferrari, he's going to win a race.
Yes.
You know, so don't ever please judge his ability with his performance in the last couple of years, because he's not had a car. That's why McLaren is giving him this opportunity, because they feel that he deserves maybe an opportunity to have a bright spot in this season. You know, it may come later in Formula One, you know, hopefully so for his sake, but again, Fernando is at the top of his game right now, no question about it, as a driver.
And there's a look at the history of McLaren, and John won 2 500s for them, and Johnny, as a worldwide motorsport fan, I think you can speak to this too. Again, for our American audience, McLaren, Ferrari, these are the teams that have the significance worldwide. That's why we're making such a big deal about their participation.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's world racing. You know, they race all over the world, and it's an opportunity to have a world champion, i.e. like Mario and Fernando, to come here and want to run. Jimmy Clark and Graham Hill and everybody that has succeeded here, and that's the name of the game, is being able to succeed.
Reasons why we are celebrating this moment so much, because it is so rare in today's day and age for high-level drivers to do what both of you did and try something outside of your comfort zone. Contracts, schedules, and other issues align, and the biggest one for Formula One and the Indianapolis 500, Mario, is always going to be Monaco. How we wish there was a date change, because there would be others that would like to try this.
Oh, believe me, I mean, I've been through this, because I've had this, you know, twice that I had to have a driver. Dennis Firestone qualified for me, and then Wally Dallenbach qualified for me. That was good. Did he do a little bit of a burnout?
You want to get on the track?
That's what I would have told him. I was wondering whether the teachers told him. That's one thing, that whenever you have new sticker tires, always do a burnout, get the glaze out of the rears.
Yeah,
We've got in-car radio, so we're just going to sit back, watch, and listen.
Perfect.
Be me?
Yeah.
10-4.
Yeah.
Made it to the track.
Like I said, you know.
How much stagger do they run now?
About 25,
25.
25, 30 at the most. I don't like a lot of stagger. I never did.
McLaren in 73.
First laps for Fernando Alonso at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the 2.5-mile oval in McLaren Honda Andretti number 29 car, working his way up to speed in the 190s, and he just cracked over 200 miles an hour, 208, the latest speed. So this is the plan, 205 to 210.
Got it.
Textbook perfect. The approach, he started, as you said, in the 90s, worked his way up, felt his way, and already is up at the pretty much the top end of the rookie test is. And so it's perfect. Things are looking good. I like his line. It's very conservative.
Yep.
You know, very conservative. So
206.
206, good.
Yeah, the next lap after that, 208 and 206.
Yeah.
We won't see him picking up speed. The goal is to stay between 205 and 210.
He only
That's
has
phase one.
Only has 20 miles an hour to go.
Yeah.
You know, I've always heard that, you know, it's one thing to get up to, say, 220. It's that last 2 or 3 or 4, as you said, close to 10 miles an hour that separates us.
Well, I just watched him now. Just he started nipping just right below the line there, coming in turn 3. You know, so he's getting the feel of it. Yeah, there you go. 209. He's just
the thing that will,
you know, it's really very professionally done. He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
And the thing that will help him the most is when he comes in, stops, and gets out of the car, thinks about it a little bit, and go back out. He'll feel
coming
more
in
comfortable. There he
now.
comes.
Perfect. Good job. Good job.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So first stint's done for Fernando Alonso as Michael Andretti, Marco Andretti, and so many others watch from the Andretti Autosport team. And there is some mixing. Zach Brown told me a couple of weeks ago that he will bring in some people from McLaren